Hello, Amusement Park Portal, and welcome to this week's blog. It is March 3rd, 2024. Gosh, already March. It's amazing. Time's going by pretty quick, but anyway, we got lots to talk about this week, so let's get going. We're going to start things out at Dorney Park. That's right, Dorney Park is going to have their first winter chill-out event on March 16th. Very similar to Cedar Point's winter chill-out event, where you get to tour the park, some off-limit areas you normally don't get to see, and see all the goings-on in the park in the wintertime months. And, of course, you got to check out Iron Menace, which is just completed its track work. So there should be lots to see there. That'll be interesting. Now, the event, it's a ticketed event, and all the proceeds go to charity. You can buy the tickets on the park's official website. And just a heads up, it is 18 and over only. So no kids allowed at this event. I imagine because it's a hard hat area, live construction area, and they probably don't want kids running around. But I'm going to try my best to get out to this one. This is going to be an interesting tour for the park. I'm not sure if there's any meals are included or anything like that, but who cares? The $60 goes to charity for a great event, and you get to get some pictures of the park in the off season. Probably your only chance to do so. So check that out if you can. Speaking of winter chill-outs, we got the chance to tour Cedar Point for their annual winter chill-out this year. And lots going on in the park. It's quite busy this time of year. You wouldn't think so, but there's a lot going on with the maintenance, the refurbishments, just general park improvements happening during the off-season. This year's winter chill-out was just slightly scaled back from prior years. It didn't seem to be... They didn't have a Q&A event, and it was a guided tour. And the only negative thing I really had to say about it all is it felt a little rushed in certain spots. Then you get to other spots, and you had to stand there and wait for a little while for other groups to proceed. It was only one day this year. Last year it was two. So that changed a little bit as well. We got to see the new Top Thrill Dragster trains. I mean, look at these things. They are sharp. Oh my gosh. We sat in one, and awesome. Absolutely one of the most comfortable coaster trains in the park, that's for sure. If not the most comfortable coaster train in the park. No seatbelts as of now. Of course, after state inspections and whatnot, that could change, but we don't know. We'll see. Skyride. Wow. Check out these new decals on Skyride. The Von Roll, taking a little throwback to Von Roll, a little homage to him. I'm loving it. I like it. You'll notice something missing from the Skyride buckets here. And I'm hearing little rumors here and there that, well, it could cover all the Cedar Fair parks, that Snoopy is possibly on his way out. That's right. From a couple different people that this may be the last year for Snoopy. So take that how you will. It kind of makes sense because his contract is up after this season. So I think it ends in 25. Yeah, beginning of 2025. Now with the Six Flags merger coming in, they've got the DC and the Looney Tunes. And they also, many people don't realize, they got Hanna-Barbera too, which includes Scooby-Doo and, all those characters. So only time will tell what comes of that. Now, I do know the Six Flags has the IP for another few years at least on the DC and the Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera, so it'll be interesting how this pans out. Another bit of news coming out of Cedar Point. Lots coming out. A lot of this came after Winter Chill Out because they didn't have a Q&A like they normally do. But Snake River Expeditions, the boat ride, well, no more. It's gone. Tony Clark was interviewed, and he says, yep, it's not happening this year, which is kind of weird. They invested a lot of money in this new attraction. It's only, 2, 3 maybe years old? It was originally Paddle Wheel Excursions, as many of you know. And then it was closed for a bunch of years, and then they redid it into Snake River Expeditions. Added scenes, some new scenery and that. And it was the first year they had live actors around the whole thing. That was really cool. It was pretty interactive. And then last year they did it, and it really wasn't that interactive. They really cut back on the actors. It was a lot different, but it was still fun. It was a unique attraction. I'm really sad to see this one go. I can only assume this is because of, the merger coming up. They're wanting to save money here and there, and then labor. I mean, labor in general is hard to come by, and I can only imagine the amount of labor it takes to run that attraction. So fingers crossed that attraction returns sometime soon, future. I'm bummed about that. It's one of the few attractions left in the park where the whole family could ride together. You don't have too many rides like that in the park. I mean, other than like the antique cars, things like maybe the sky ride and the train, things like that. There's really not a lot for the whole family to do together, but we shall see. Other Cedar Fair news. Knott's Berry Farm came out and said Montezuma's Revenge, it's back on. We were wondering what was going on with it. It kind of stalled here over the last few months. We didn't know what was going on. We're hearing rumors that the manufacturer that was refurbishing the ride dropped out and you're looking for a new one. Well, if that's the case, they found a new one because they just announced that Montezuma's Revenge will return in 2025. Great news. That is such an awesome ride. So unique, and there's, I think, only a couple of these left in the world today. You got Montezuma, and then you got, what's it called? It's sitting over in Niagara Amusement Park now, waiting to be assembled. Come from Mexico. I can't think of the name of it right now, but I think those are the only two left, will be the only two left in the country once they get back up and going, which is kind of a bummer. It's such a fun ride. I remember riding my first one way back at Six Flags over Georgia. I think it was called the Viper, and I was just blown away by it, how much fun it was. So, yeah, hoping that that makes a comeback soon, and the one in Niagara Amusement Park comes back soon as well. So, Six Flags Great America's King Chaos ride, that's that top spin ride in the Mardi Gras section, was removed. Well, it's popped up over at Indiana Beach. There's pictures floating around of the ride sitting in pieces over at Indiana Beach. So, it'll be interesting to see if it gets set up this year. I know Indiana Beach seems to be like a magnet for all the used amusement rides that Six Flags and other parks get rid of or sell off. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some of these rides are great. I really enjoyed King Chaos was a unique one, because it had that water feature in the front and whatnot. A lot of fun, Also, Six Flags news out of Darien Lake. Darien Lake posted these pictures showing off new Titan track heading over towards Predator. I wasn't able to make it to Darien Lake last year, but all the reviews I've heard of the Titan track that was put on there was very positive, and everybody was hoping for more Titan tracks. So here you go. Your wishes have been answered. Looks like quite a bit, so I'm not sure what section of the coaster this is going to replace, but either way, that's a positive thing. So I'm looking forward to getting out to Darien Lake, hopefully this summer, to ride that. I've really been trying to get out to that park. Thing is, the days I'm able to get out there, they've got some weird hours. They're closed certain days of the week, or they close early, and it just never worked out with my schedule. But I'm really going to make an effort to get out there this year to Darien Lake. Speaking of track pieces, new Titan track pieces, Raptor track. I get the two confused sometimes. Raptor track has been spotted over at RMC's Idaho plant, sitting out in the yard there. So interesting. Where could that be going? I don't know, but there's been rumors. I know Kentucky Kingdom was supposed to get one a few years back. That fell through, I think, because of COVID. And I mean, it's a great coaster concept. I mean, I don't know what park one of those wouldn't fit in, so it could be going anywhere. I don't know, but interesting nonetheless that they have some tracks sitting out there in Idaho waiting to be shipped. California Carowinds and King's Dominion made news this week with the Intimidator coasters. Well, can't call them Intimidator no more. I guess the IP ran out on there and they're having issues renewing it, or they just chose not to. But both of those coasters are going through a retheme and rename. Now, Carowinds version has already been renamed to Thunder Striker. Here's the logo. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue very well, but it works, I guess. And King's Dominion, I guess the place card name for it right now is Project 305. Now, the rumor is that they're going to incorporate this ride into the whole jungle expedition area of the park. And so I would assume it's going to be rethemed to something along those lines and renamed to fit that as well, which they came out and said, no, they're not changing the ride itself, just the theme and the name, you know. But I'm going to miss that Gentlemen Start Your Engines in the station when you get ready to take off. That was pretty cool. But, yeah, you got to figure those IPs, they don't last forever. You know, they're going to ask for more money, or, you know, when you're pinching pennies or would rather spend that money elsewhere. It makes sense. I mean, to have something more original, you know. So, yeah, interesting. Circus out in Vegas has finally opened the new SpongeBob Dark Ride. And the interesting thing about this, I was under the impression that this was part of the Adventure Dome. Well, it's not. This is a totally separate attraction outside of the Adventure Dome. It's in Circus, but not in the Adventure Dome portion. So if you've been there, let me know. Is it included with the Adventure Dome? It's just not in the Adventure Dome? Or how does that work? I don't know. They don't really explain it so well. Because, I mean, it literally just opened. You know, I guess it's probably a soft opening and they don't have all the details out yet. But, yeah, let me know if you're able to ride it. I'm curious to see what you think of it, because it looks pretty cool. Looks like a fun interactive dark ride. So, well, this one comes as no surprise, but Disney World over at Disney Springs has filed demolition permits for the NBA experience that just opened and closed. I think it was open maybe a year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, who didn't see that coming? Didn't they already try this concept over Universal City Walk and it failed miserably there? So I don't know whose idea it was to bring it over to Disney Springs, but yeah, it failed miserably there too. Now the demo permits, I assume they're going to be for the internal demolition. I don't think they're going to tear the whole building down. I mean, being that it's a new building now. After Disney Quest left, they kind of leveled that and built this new building. So curious to see what they put in there. It's a pretty big building. You know, it is, I believe it's several stories as well. So keep your eye on that. We'll see what happens at Disney Springs. Six Flags New England. Wow, removing two attractions. The Bonsai Pipeline water slide apparently is being removed, and a Kontiki ride, which is like the park's Matterhorn-style ride. Kind of spins in a circle up and down the little hills really fast, which we rode that ride, but you know, it was a hard ride to find. It's kind of off the beaten path, off to the side. I think it was over by like First Aid, but it was off on a path by itself. It was really hard to find, so it's kind of no surprise. A bummer though, because it's a really well-themed ride. I love the theme to it. They really did a good job with the theming. And it's kind of a bummer to see that ride go. Hopefully, maybe they're just moving it to another area of the park. I mean, they do have room in the park to move it. So we'll see what happens there. You know, so speaking of Kentucky Kingdom, like we mentioned, they are set to make a big announcement on March 7th at 1:30 p.m. We can only assume this will be the replacement for T2, which is still standing, by the way. However, the ride broker that is selling the ride, on their website, it does say reserved. The ride is reserved. So I'm guessing that means it's sold and they're just waiting to finalize things. So we'll see what happens there with T2. That's a nice plot of land. And you never know, that Raptor, the Raptor could end up at Kentucky Kingdom, you know, like they were going to get a few years ago. But any new coaster addition to that park would be welcome. I mean, I think they need one more big knockout coaster at that park to really solidify themselves, as a destination park. As of now, it's a fun park, but it's really only half a day park. If you've been there, you know. But very interesting park, and we always have a good time there. And can't wait to see what they have so we can visit again. Over at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay down in Florida, Phoenix Rising, well, it's rising. That's right. It's gone vertical the other day. It's got kind of these light bluish supports. As many of you know, Phoenix Rising is like a family inverted coaster, which is kind of interesting. I believe a couple of the SeaWorld Busch Gardens parks are building these. And there's a strong rumor that Busch Gardens Williamsburg will be the next to receive one of these as well. So we will see. Only time will tell. Interesting. Looking forward to riding it and see how it holds up to like a regular inverted coaster, and that. So this is kind of fun. Kennywood is retheming its bumper cars to a potato patch theme. They held a contest, and I've looked everywhere. I can't find the results, who the winner or the winning name is, rather. But if you went into this contest, your name was thrown into a hat to win, I think it's a whole year supply of potato patch French fries. Oh, gosh. Wow. So, like I said, the winning name has not been announced yet, but the choices were Deep Fried Derby, Potato Smash, and Speedy Spuds. Yeah, I don't know what to think about that. It's kind of funny. Kind of weird, though, too, when you think about it. Being that the bumper cars are kind of not necessarily close to Potato Patch. I mean, it's kind of little ways out of the way. But, yeah, funny nonetheless that they're doing that. So, yeah. And I'm hearing that they have been working on the Steel Curtain coaster as well. So, hopefully that'll be up and running more reliably this year. Every time I plan on going to that park to check that coaster out, it's down. So hopefully they get it up and going, like I said, so I can visit again. Because that's not that far from me, really. It's only, I think, 4 or 5 hour drive. So it's not too far to get to. Okay, some really depressing news coming out of Six Flags Over Georgia last night. Come on, people. This is just ridiculous. I'm sure you've all heard the news now about the incident that took place outside of the park, in the parking lot, with groups of teenagers starting fights, and there was a shooting outside of the park. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. It's not just amusement parks, it's malls, schools, any public place. I mean, people are just acting like animals anymore. I mean, this is why we can't have nice things, Poor Six Flags, they did everything they could. They got the groups out of the park as they should have. And all this mess went down outside the park. Now the local police department got involved in there. That was the shooting there. I guess I'll look up. You'll see all the details. I'm not going to get into it. But is it time for a chaperone policy? What do you think of that? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm on the fence about chaperone policies. I like them and I hate them. I mean, 99% of teenagers are civilized, well-behaved. They go to the park to have a good time, hang out. No problems. You get that 1% or that one group in there that all they want to do is cause trouble, start fights, this and that, and they're going to ruin it for everybody. So, chaperone policy, it may stop that, but anybody over the age of 18 could be a chaperone, so that's not necessarily going to stop the groups from fighting in there. If you get one 18-year-old, And another thing, too, is a chaperone policy, you're going to prevent large groups of teens from going. Well, that's going to hurt your business, too. You're alienating a lot of people that way. A whole group of people want to go. They're going to be like, well, we need chaperones and we can't get one. They're not going to go. So it's just a bummer, the whole thing, I sure hope that those responsible are held to justice and that. And this gives Six Flags a bad name, even though this is not Six Flags' fault. I mean, come on, you know. This has happened at all parks. Disney, it's happened at in the last few years. Universal, Cedar Fair. I mean, it's happened everywhere, unfortunately, and it's getting old. You know, people just need to start acting like humans again. But enough ranting about that. But okay, we got a couple more things left here. Our 2024 mega trip itinerary. That's right, we got our mega trip planned for this summer. We're going out west. We're going to be driving. Being that we're driving, we're going to be able to hit a couple more parks than what we would have if we were to fly, which is one of the main reasons of driving. So here is the list, kind of in no particular order, but we're going to do Lagoon, California's Great America, Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, Six Flags Magic Mountain, Knott's Berry Farm, Universal Studios. We're going to try to do Disneyland. I don't know. We're going to try to squeeze that in. On our way back, we're definitely going to hit Vegas, try to hit a few of those coasters in Vegas. Illich Gardens and Lakeside. We're going to hit both of those in one day, being at their smaller parks. Last but not least, a park I've been trying to get to ever since they opened, and I'm happy to announce we're finally going to get there, Lost Island. Oh, man, out in Iowa. I've been wanting to visit this park and support it since they opened. It looks like such a nice little park, and I urge everybody to please go support this little park. They're just starting out. They need all the help they can get. It looks like a fun place. They got just a top-notch dark ride there. They got a couple great coasters. They got a log flume and a good selection of flat rides, too, and a drop tower. I mean, they got a decent lineup. And they can really use your help. I know last year they didn't do so well. They had some problems getting the new coasters up and going. But they got all that figured out, and it's game on now. So let's get out there and support them. All right. Last but not least, we got a little contest going on. So I have these Top Thrill Dragster postcards here. Got a bunch of them that I was able to snag. So we're going to do a contest. I'm going to pick 5 lucky winners to send. I'll send you one of these in the mail. All you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's got to be a new subscriber. And then once you do so, go on the comments of this video blog on the YouTube and write your name subscribed. That's all. Write your name and subscribed, I should say. And I'll wait a week or two. Once I get a handful of people on there, I'll randomly pick 5 people, and I'm going to send you one of these Top Thrill Dragster postcards. Here's the front, and it's got the logo and that on the back as well. So 5 of you can win that, but you got to subscribe, and you got to comment on this video with your name and the word subscribed, and that'll automatically enter you into the contest. It's free to do. I'm not making any money off this. It's just something I want to do. And Top Thrill Dragster with the Top Thrill 2 coming out is like the big thing right now. Oh, one last thing too. I was able to pick this up at Winter Chill Out. I got this new Top Thrill 2 sign there. Pretty cool. I'm digging it. So, well, that's all we got for you this week. Lots to cover, and I think we hit everything. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video blog. Like I said, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like button. Share it with your friends. Do us a solid. We're really trying to blow this channel up, and get it out there, so we can invest in more equipment and all that. So once again, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. We'll see you next time.